How's it going, everyone, and welcome to a Q&A Volume 1 edition. Actually, I don't know what volume this would be by this point, because I've done several different Q&As over the course of the channel's existence, but I'm going to start trying to do these a little bit more frequently for you guys, and that should be good and whatnot. This will probably just be put to the background of some gameplay of something, probably killing floor. It'll probably change depending on, what I just feel like playing on my own time or what have you. But this would be pretty damn difficult to do live commentary while playing a game, because I would have to, have all of the questions up, and I would have to think about what to reply to them, because I don't have my replies written down. So I didn't really go over these questions and think about what I wanted to say. So it'd be pretty difficult to go through and attempt to play a game and read the questions and think of an answer and then have all that happen, and it would probably get chopped up a lot and whatnot. So there you go. All of these questions are going to be from YouTube. I have been answering questions somewhat frequently the past couple of weeks or so. I haven't really dabbled into ForumSpring, but the ForumSpring link is there, and if you do want a question answered, feel free to leave a comment asking that question in the comment section below. As you can see, if I've edited this correctly, people who have asked questions that I'm responding to, at least the ones that I saw, I'm sure multiple people asked the same question, but I cannot possibly go through the entire video and take everyone who asked that question and answer it and have them in the video. But feel free to keep asking questions, and you may be put into the video, in like the upper left-hand corner or something, wherever I decide to put the comments. So you can get featured in the video if that floats your boat. But if you don't give a shit and you just want to be here for some background information on me, then that's cool too. So question number 1, the most frequently asked question that I always get is, what does your name stand for? And in the comment section, people were arguing that's something new. They're arguing that it stands for my actual name, Seamus O'Doherty, which it doesn't, because SSOH is an acronym. If you don't know what an acronym is, it means that basically the letters in that word or acronym stand for a different phrase or a sentence or a word. It's most likely a word, but in my case, it's just words. So why that doesn't work is because, first of all, it's an acronym. The letters stand for something, and it's not my name. That wouldn't make sense. Also, if you go by acronym standards, the capitals are, a different word, and then lower cases would be a word that doesn't necessarily have to be capitalized, like a minor word. And what people think it is that it stands for my name. The first S and the last S, the only two S's in my first name, are the two S's, which the first S makes sense because it's capitalized, but the second S doesn't make sense because, well, it's not the first letter in my name, and it's not a proper noun, so therefore it wouldn't be capitalized. So if you actually go through my name, and if it stood for my name, then the first S would be capitalized, the second S would be lowercase, the O would be capitalized as well, and then the H would be lowercase, because that's just how the name goes. But, however, that's not how it is. The two S's are capitalized, the O is lowercase, and the H is uppercase. And it doesn't really make sense, as I just explained. So I've never really explained what it means. Only people who knew me pre-YouTube, starting around 2003, would know what it meant, and very few of those people exist, and very few of those people watch my stuff. They're not really in contact with me anymore. Not for something bad that happened, but, time just kind of separates people sometimes, and that's what happened. Jason knows, and I don't know who else knows that I could say, but he knows, and that's about it. And there's the whole name thing. So now we'll actually move into other questions. I'm sure more frequently asked questions will be asked. I keep switching ask and answered, but I'm sure more of those will pop up, and I'll just get to those when I do get to them. But number 1, the slow motion Pim asks, what's your daily routine / recording schedule? It changes by the day, really. The past several weeks, I haven't really felt like recording at all. And so basically, I would record maybe once every 3 days. I would record enough to last the 3 days. And then once those 3 days were up, I would record again. And kind of went on that way for a little bit just because I didn't really feel like recording for whatever reason. I just wasn't in the mood. But I knew that people would get upset or worried if I wasn't uploading as much. If I don't upload for a day, people begin to think something terrible has happened to me, and that's usually not how I like people to act. I don't want people to be worried for no reason. So usually I try to upload a little bit every day, but usually my routine is that I record a little bit each day, and depending on how much I feel like recording, it might be, you know, just an hour of something. It might be up to 8 or 9 hours total of recording. That's if I really feel like recording, if a bunch of new games came out and stuff. But recently I started wanting to record a little bit more. I've been recording probably about 3 to 5 hours a day. I just got done recording 2 hours of Dead Space, and after this video is done, I'll probably record Mario. I don't know when this video is going to go up exactly, and then I'm probably going to try and beat Devil May Cry and maybe some other stuff, but that's usually the recording schedule. Other than that, the daily routine is, you know, just do whatever I want, I guess. You know, if I want to sleep longer, I sleep longer. If I want to go out and get food, I go get food. It's a pretty cool job to have, because this is my main source of income. It's my only source of income, really, and that would classify it as my job/career right now. As odd as, you know, that may sound to some of you, you're like, oh, you just play video games, that's not a job. It's like, I get money for it. I mean, if I have to pay taxes on it, it's technically a job. I mean, I can't tell the government, like, yeah, my fans said it wasn't a job, so I don't have to pay you 40% taxes, so, you know, that's what they said, and they're not going to nod their head. They're like, no, that's your job. You have to fucking pay us your tax money, so give us money, or you're going to jail. And so technically, yeah, it is my job, and I can do whatever I want because I don't have to report somewhere for a specific number of hours a day. If I don't feel like doing anything that day, I don't have to do anything that day. The only negative repercussion that would come out of that would be, you know, I would make less money because I wouldn't get as many views that day, you know, stuff like that. But it's not like I'm going to get fired if I don't upload stuff. It's not like anything bad would happen. Honestly, I would probably just be, you know, hurting myself if I don't upload that day. Because I would be getting less views, which equates to less money, and my subscriber growth might go down because I'm not uploading as much stuff, and they might think, you know, channel's kind of slowed or whatever. But, you know, there you go. It's a lot of different things to work on. Number 2, someone asked, what about the Mario hacks? This is, you know, a super requested thing. Actually, I just recently started doing them again, but it's hard for some people to understand that, you know, I've been doing this for 4 years, and Mario was the first thing that I started on the channel, and it went on for about several months by itself. And eventually you just get bored of playing the same thing over and over and over again. So when that stuff disappears, like Mario hacks, it means I've gotten bored with it, and then I usually have to answer questions and respond to people like, oh yeah, Mario hasn't been uploaded in 2 days. It's like, well, this might be several months before it comes back, just because I've gotten bored of it. I don't want to half-ass it, and I don't want to, you know, just meander through the video and yeah, Goomba. I don't want to do that. You know, I want to be more into it, but some people just get really upset when the videos don't show up. So that guy actually responded to someone. I don't know what the person's original question was. It's probably like, where's Sly Cooper at, which did come back as well, and now Sly 2 is kind of back on the back burner, because Thieves in Time came out, and I'm doing that, and then when that's done, I'll eventually go back and go through 2 and 3. So there's that one. Moving on. Has the novelty of playing games simply to enjoy them worn off since you started doing commentary? Asks Scrancis. Like I said, you know, if I mispronounce your name, I'm sorry, but kind of hard to pronounce some people's names. You know, it could be Scarancis or Srancis or I don't know what the hell. But has the novelty of playing games simply to enjoy them worn off? Kind of. The way I explain it is, you know, I record and upload a lot, and by doing so, it kind of does take the wind out of some stuff, because if I'm playing a game just to have fun, some people who track my trophies and achievements and playtime of games will ask, oh, are we going to see footage of this? How come footage of this hasn't gone up? I've seen you playing it, and I get kind of hounded a little bit for that. And not only that, when I'm not recording stuff and I'm just playing something, I could be like, you know, I could be recording something to put up for the channel, and you know, I could save myself time later, or I could just record this. So it is hard to play games just on my own. Usually I don't. Usually one of the only games that I will consistently play on my own is Rock Band, because I can't really upload the stuff. And as much as people will tell me, oh yeah, you can, it's, you know, it's gameplay, you know, you can upload that, it's whatever, you know, it's part of the game. it doesn't quite work. You can get your video blocked in certain countries or all countries, and then people will complain about that. Or you could get a copyright strike for uploading it, and then you have to deal with that. There are a lot of different things that you have to sort of take into account. And just because someone says something doesn't make it true. That's why you don't see a whole lot of people uploading Rock Band stuff right now. Could I do it and possibly get away with it? Possibly, but at the same time, I could end up having it blocked in different countries. I could end up getting a legitimate copyright strike, and then I have to go through hoops to get that stuff done just because some people wanted to see it and got upset when they thought I could upload it. But, yeah. That's the same thing with nudity. People are like, oh yeah, upload it, it's fine, it's part of the game, it's art. And then when someone gets offended and reports it, I could get the video age-gated, which means that anyone who has an account under 18 cannot view it. And anyone, or no ads will be on the video, so that kind of sucks. Then I wouldn't get money for that, but just different things that pop up that some people don't necessarily realize. And we'll move on to question, I believe, number 4, not counting that first question. That was kind of whatever. How were you as a child? A loner? Keep up the good work. I really like your YouTube content, says someone I can't pronounce the name. Engin Andreas. See, it's just so hard pronouncing names like that. But how was I when I was a kid? I don't know like what age frame we're talking about. You know, if we're talking about like middle school up until about 8th grade, elementary school, stuff like that. I was kind of fat for a while. I had asthma. I was pretty unpopular. And then once I hit, I transferred schools at one point, and I joined the basketball team. I lost a bunch of weight, and my asthma seems to have gone. It doesn't exist anymore. I don't know how that works, but I don't have asthma problems anymore. Once I hit about 6th grade, transferred schools, things kind of worked out for a little bit. I had friends and whatnot, but after graduated 8th grade, a lot of them went into a Catholic school, and I didn't want to go through a Catholic school again because 6th or 8th grade I was in a Catholic school, a private school, and I didn't really like how I was treated because I didn't go to church. And some of the teachers would get mad and kind of berate me a little bit, and I really didn't like that, so I wasn't going to go to a Catholic school with them, and I got split up from them. And a lot of them changed and started doing drugs and drinking, and that wasn't really for me. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to focus more on, getting through school and not becoming a fuck-up and whatnot. And we kind of split up there, and then, I transferred schools again after freshman year because we moved. And if you've ever seen the Mario hack videos that I did on my high school experience, you would know that it was not very fun. It was terrible. I had about 2 friends. I had 1 girlfriend throughout the entire time. I kept to myself. That was really the time where I kind of became sort of a loner. Not by choice, but because I was just kind of forced into that. I played video games, and that was well known, and that wasn't cool. And I didn't drink or do drugs. That wasn't cool. My parents didn't have money. I didn't have, a good style of clothing, which, wasn't cool. Which now, at this point, I just buy, a bunch of video game and television show reference t-shirts, which a lot of people seem to like now, but it was just kind of like, I was in high school a little bit too early. Maybe if I had been in high school 10 years down the line when technology was more embraced and video games started to really explode, then it would have been cooler, but things didn't work out so well, and that was my time as an adolescent/teenager. Not fun, actually. Not real fun. Never. According to the news, video games are combat simulators and whatnot. Never did I want to hurt myself, and never did I want to hurt anyone else, even though they hurt me physically. I never wanted to take a gun and shoot up the school just because, a couple of assholes wanted to make my life hell. That wasn't the route to go. So, despite them blaming video games, they should honestly be blaming other kids or, possible mental issues that the person would have, because if anything would have caused some sort of breakdown, it would have been the other assholes I went to school with, as opposed to, some sort of first-person shooter I might have been playing. But never did I want to do anything like that, and I wouldn't recommend you to do something like that, no matter how hard of a time you're having. Sure, stand up for yourself, but I don't know, they always say, you know, you should stand up for yourself. Well, when you're one kid against, you know, 5 or 6 other kids and they're beating your ass, it's a little bit hard to stand up for yourself when using your fists and whatnot. A lot of kids will go, okay, fine, fuck it. I have 6 kids beating my ass. Well, guess what? They're not going to do anything against the gun. I'll just go in and shoot them. And unfortunately, that is the mentality that a lot of kids are sort of resorted to. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's not going to solve any problem. In fact, it's just going to make things much, much worse. And I don't really have advice on how to get out of that, unfortunately. I just had to wait until everything sort of ended and I got out of high school and didn't have to deal with those people anymore and just put distance between myself and them. Though I did run into them outside of high school when I was able to drink in a bar. I went to a bar and I was getting mean mugged all the hell by them, so that was really awkward. Getting stared at by people at a bar that you knew hated you, so kind of wondering what would happen with that, but nothing ever came of that. It was just really awkward, and yeah, I don't like that town. That town sucked. That was not a fun time. But moving on, Frank Davies says, "Do you have a religion?" No, I don't really have a specific religion. I am considered agnostic, which means, like, you know, okay, you believe that there might be a god or some sort of higher power, but you aren't exactly sure what it is. It's kind of like, you know, the cop-out between being an atheist and having an organized religion. It's like, okay, well, I believe there's something, but I don't know what. Like, nothing really is right for me. And that's pretty much what that is. I respect all religions or lack thereof. I don't really care, you know, if that's what you want to do. I can't tell you what to do, but far too many people in the world / society today will get upset with you if you do not believe in their religion and will try to persuade or force you into it, which isn't fun. It's just, you know, it's one of the things that I rarely ever talk about or mention in videos. Politics and religion. And usually a fight will break out about something stupid in the comments, and that's why I usually try to avoid that. And I just lost my place in the questions. So what is this? That? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I found it again. Yep. Someone else asks, Simon Beef. He asks, "Do you have any other hobbies?" No, not really, actually. Video gaming was my main hobby. And as time went on, it became more and more popular, and I put more and more time into it to the point where it eventually became, like I said earlier, sort of my job, and I never really had any other hobbies besides that. I couldn't even really list any, like, you know, you have hiking and, I guess, you know, exercising and stuff like that, or playing an instrument, or, you know, what have you, or writing. I don't really do any of that. I just play video games. That was, like, the one hobby that I really spent a lot of time on and really engrossed myself in. And it ended up working out because now I can do this as an awesome job, and it's pretty cool. And the next guy, the Wraith Killer. I don't even know how I'm going to edit this. Guess I'm going to have to figure out, like, at what time I start answering the questions. But the Wraith Killer has more of a comment than a question. They say, "Seamus, you could direct people to the Creatures Wiki at the start of a Q&A, since someone will put the answers on the wiki, so you won't have to repeat the common questions." I actually have this link on the main channel page, like where you see the playlists and the shows and who to subscribe to and whatnot. I actually have a link there, I'm pretty sure. But it wouldn't hurt to put that link in all of the videos. I know some of you are interested in knowing random trivia about us or random background information, and I'm sure some of you would like to upkeep that information and make sure that it's accurate and keep adding stuff as new stuff pops up. So I will put that link probably in this video and hopefully most videos, like just, you know, regular gameplay stuff, not just Q&A stuff. So I'll probably work on trying to get that link into all of my videos, so that way if people do check the video description and they do see that link is new, then they'll go to it and either help out and keep it accurate or just read it and learn new information. Unfortunately, a lot of that information can be inaccurate. I visit my own page from time to time and have seen random factoids that were not factoids at all, just made up bullshit that I don't know where someone got that information from, but, you know, it being kept up to par with being factual would be good. So if you're the kind of person that likes to do that, then just look for the link and that's good to go. Mr. Genius 465 asks, if you could have a different career, what would it be and why? If I could have a different career, I wouldn't have a different career. If I was forced to have a different career, I honestly don't know what it would be. I've been the kind of person since high school to just kind of go with the flow and not really worry about things, just kind of let things come to me. Just kind of try and sit back and let destiny or life or whatever go about its business. And that doesn't mean like, you know, I just sit there and don't do anything and I expect everything to come to me. Like, I do go through the routines and whatnot to try and get stuff done, but it's not something that I really thought about. And I guess this sort of goes into another question that people would ask. I don't think I have it here asked by someone, but people always ask me like, oh, what are you gonna do when this whole YouTube thing's done? You know, what are you gonna do when your channel gets shut down, or you know, what are you gonna do when the YouTube bubble bursts? And you know, how does it feel to have wasted your time doing this and stuff like that? Just really kind of annoying questions. And my response is usually, you know, like, do you ask your parents that? Like, do you ask your parents what they're gonna do if they get fired from their job? Do you ask your friends, other family, what they're gonna do when they get fired or lose their job? No, you don't, because it's kind of a really rude. It's not something you ask. And that's basically the equivalent of what you're asking me, like, what are you going to do when you're fired or lose your job? It's like, I don't know, get a different fucking job? Like, what does it matter to you? I mean, it's not going to be affecting you negatively. But it's just weird that question comes up. You know, what are you going to do when YouTube ends? You know, what are you going to do when you lose your job? Get a different job, I guess. What do you want me to do? Sit there and cry and curl up into a ball and die? No, just keep going on. If it ends, it ends. You know, good run. And the people who told me that I've wasted my time with it, those are people who probably don't know every aspect of it. They probably think, you know, okay, you know, he makes video game videos. That's not very prestigious. He gets paid to do it. He probably makes, you know, a couple $100 a month. And if that's your attitude about it, if you're going to assume stuff like that, then you probably shouldn't be assuming stuff. If you knew all of the aspects and nuances that go into this and whatnot, then you probably wouldn't be saying that I wasted my time, because my channel is of decent size. I do get decent views per month, and I do get a decent paycheck out of it. It's more than a couple $100 a month, but, you know, it's not millions of dollars every month. I wish it was. That'd be fantastic, but, you know, that's kind of a weird question that comes up. I'm sure someone asked that, and I just missed it, but that comes up a lot. You would be surprised at how much that comes up. And I answered that previous question, right? What was that previous question? If you have a different, yeah, I don't know what my different career would be. You know, I just explained the whole, you know, I let things come as they come, and that's pretty much what I do. The next guy is freaking Johnny. He asked, "Hey Seamus, I love that Toy Story shirt," which is what I had on in the video where I initially asked, you know, okay, I'm taking questions, but they say, "Hey Seamus, I love that Toy Story shirt. What's on it, and where did you get it?" It's actually a Jurassic Park reference. I actually don't know the specific reference it is, but it's Woody looking at the T-Rex character. I don't know what his name is either, but you know, I like Toy Story. I like Jurassic Park. Unfortunately, I don't remember everything about it, but I get it. I usually get my stuff from Busted Tees, or I should say I usually got my stuff from Busted Tees, but in the past couple of months, they really haven't done anything that I've liked. I don't know what happened. A lot of the shirts that have been coming out there have been like city shirts, sports shirts. The last batch of shirts they released were actually something that I would probably buy, but they kind of dropped the ball for me, and I stopped buying stuff from there. But what I do go through is I have a little link that I can drop in the video description as well. That it's called like Day of the Shirt. So if I don't have that link in there, and you do wonder where I get some of my shirts from, just Google Day of the Shirt, or go to dayoftheshirt.com. Either works. And what they have here, they have a compilation of a lot of different t-shirt sites, and it's like the 24-hour t-shirt sites or the 1-week t-shirt sites where they have different designs there, but they're only available for about a day or for about a week. And I check here daily, and I get a lot of different stuff. You know, they have Woot, T-Fury, Ripped, designed by humans, another fine tee, other tees, etc., etc. And they have really good stuff from time to time. The only problem with it is that it sometimes takes a couple weeks to get the shirts to you. So I would plan on not getting these shirts right away. But they're usually about $9 to, I want to say $15 per shirt. Usually right around the range of $10 to $12. and it takes, some of them offer free shipping, some of them are like, you know, $3.99, $2.99 shipping, so it's a pretty good deal. That's where I get most of my shirts from now. I keep getting stuff in recently, and I really like it. I'm glad I found it. Dan actually showed me like some of these t-shirt designs, and I just Googled something similar to it, and I got the compilation sites, which shows you all of the shirts across the board from several different sites. So that's good. Good to go. If you want to go there, go there. It's a good way to spend your money on cool shirts. They have video gaming stuff. They have television-related stuff, mythical-related stuff. You should go check it out. And the last comment, the last question that I'll probably reply to as we get towards about a half an hour of time. Pretty good length video, I would say. Can you start the dumb comments videos again? They were lots of fun to watch. If you don't know what the dumb comments videos were, the way I dealt with negative feedback and negative comments that were just completely stupid, like not even constructive criticism, just really dumb and insulting comments. I would take a screen cap of the comment, and I would just make a video of me talking about the comment and how dumb it was, and basically just how stupid it was. And it was just, you know, it was a good way for me to blow off steam, and it was a good way for me to deal with negative comments, and it was a good way for me to, you know, put these comments out there and have fans look at them and be like, yeah, that was really dumb, and just be reinforced that the person was dumb. Like, it wasn't just me thinking the person was dumb, it was, you know, everyone else. The problem is that someone left a comment on my channel's comment section, which, as far as I know, doesn't exist right now because I turned it off. It ended up being a lot of advertising, like spam bots, porn bots, stuff like that. Just people advertising their channel. It turned from people discussing cool stuff to just advertising channels, and it was kind of useless, so I got rid of it. But someone left a comment when I still had it, and they said, you know, I shouldn't be so harsh in my videos towards games, which I'm not really. If people always say, you know, oh, you complain about the littlest stuff. Well, it's not like, you know, I say the game's bad at the end. I'm like, okay, you know, I complained a lot of stupid shit, but it doesn't really impact the final score I would give it. You know, I would recommend this game. Most times out of, you know, anything I play, I'm going to recommend the game. There have only been a couple of games that I've really played throughout the 4-year time period that I could say, you know, I wouldn't recommend that. Mafia 2 DLC was honestly terrible. Kane and Lynch 2 was terrible. There were certain things that I could say, you know, were really bad. But they said, you know, okay, you shouldn't be so harsh in your videos. I don't think you're a professional reviewer, so you should stop. And I was like, I don't have to be a professional reviewer to complain about something. And technically, if I don't know if I was getting paid for my stuff at the time or not. I think I was. I can't remember. But you know, if I'm getting paid to make the video, then I kind of am a professional reviewer. Not really, but you know, I'm getting paid, and people are listening to my opinions about it and either taking them or, you know, whatnot. It creates discussion. So I guess you could say it's kind of a professional reviewer, but kind of not. I don't work for, you know, IGN, or I don't do reviews on any sites, but I put that comment in a video and explained basically what I just said, and they got really, really upset, like to the point where they were logging on to different accounts to spam my channel comments section, and I would just keep blocking them. And eventually it got to the point where someone who watched my stuff knew them and liked them or were friends with them and said, you know, okay, if you leave that video up with their comment in it, I'm going to report you to YouTube for harassment or, you know, community violation or whatever. And you know, you have this amount of time to take the video down, or, you know, we're going to report you and you're going to get your channel shut down. I was like, okay, well, basically the videos were fine until this person's friend was put into a video because they left a stupid ass fucking comment. So now all of a sudden it's terrible and we have to report you for it. So I was like, forget it, I'm just going to take down all of the videos and I'm not going to have them up. And then the person was like, oh, you can put them up, you just can't put the name. And they were telling me how to, you know, go about the series. And I was like, I don't want any fucking advice from you after you just basically extorted me to take something down, or you were going to report me because your friend's dumb comment got put in it. So that was a mess. I don't even know if that person still watches my stuff anymore. I have no idea. They wanted to, you know, be civil about it. I was like, fine, you know, I'll be civil about it, whatever. But it was still a really dumb situation as to how it happened. And I don't know if I would ever bring it back, because as you get larger on YouTube, and as more fans start jumping in, or more people who watch you start jumping in, the whole atmosphere gets really politically correct for some reason. It's like, okay, you can't say black anymore because that's racist, which I don't know how it's racist. You can't make, Lincoln jokes anymore. You can't make a joke about Kurt Cobain because it's too offensive and no one wants to hear that. And then it's just, a giant argument. So over the course of the time, I've kind of, gotten rid of political jokes or jokes about people who have died, or, even someone got mad that I made a joke about the Titanic at one point, even though it's been like 100 fucking years since that happened. But, people don't like that, and people will let you know, whether the majority or not, or just the vocal minority, and they'll let you know that they don't like that. And that's kind of what happened with this series, As much as some people would like it, a lot of people would think that I was just being mean for the sake of being mean, and then they would start disliking my videos, and they would start, unsubbing, and, who knows if the benefit of having the series back outweighs the loss of having people getting upset, It's something that you have to think about, is it worth it to piss a bunch of people off? Maybe more people will find it funny than will get pissed off and unsub. Maybe you'll get more subs or more views rather than people who won't watch you anymore. It's difficult to say. And that's one of the main reasons that it hasn't been brought back, because I know some people will get upset and start arguing with people and start saying that I've changed and I'm an asshole, and like, do I really want to deal with that on top of the stuff that I'm already, like, people already say that I've changed and I'm an asshole and I only do it for money and, stuff like that. Is it really worth it to just add more shit on top of the pile? And that's the question that I'm presented with. So that's what happened to that series. I think there are a couple of videos that are on SSoHPKC, which, if you're wondering what happened to that channel, everything that was uploaded to that channel is uploaded to this channel. I don't like splitting stuff up. Despite me having many different channels, which most of them are old and were never really used. One was like a tube cast that I tried to do with Jason, but it never really got anywhere. It was just kind of like, probably could have just done this on the channel and made it a podcast or something like that. One was for in case companies wanted to start getting super uppity with copyright strikes, because at one point Machinima was like, oh yeah, you can't do any cutscenes in any games anymore. I was like, okay, well, there goes my whole channel. I'm really fucking glad all the Call of Duty guys can do whatever they want, but, me can't do shit without, copyright strike. Oh, this could be a copyright strike and stuff like that. But most of the channels that I've made up were for just protective purposes in case of copyright strikes, and nothing was really used that much besides SSoHPKC. And once this channel got partnered, I was like, well, I should just put everything on this channel. It's no point in splitting everything up. And the vlog stuff does pretty well. I think it does better here than at another channel. I just don't like splitting stuff up. Just, maybe it's for the best, maybe it's not, but that's it. So thank you for watching. That will wrap up this 33-minute long Q&A video. And if you have a question you'd like to ask, or you'd like to be featured in the next video with a comment or something, feel free to leave it and keep trying. You only saw like 10 people here get featured, and out of the hundreds and possibly thousands of comments I'll probably get, you have to realize that, it's not going to be easy for you to get picked. So don't let that discourage you. Don't get mad. Just keep trying, and I'll do my best to go through and take different stuff. Check out Formspring if you want to ask me questions there. Check out Twitter if you want to follow me and get somewhat important news, or ask me questions there, or stalk me. All the links that could be useful to you will be in the video description of this video and any other video. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your questions. Remember, leave a question or comment if you want it answered or featured in the video. But that's it for now. I think I have to go record some killing floor or something, just to put in the background of this video. But thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much.